I'm here with Jenny Barnett-Roars, and she's going to show us her smoosh book.
Smoosh, because we're gonna smoosh all of our pictures and ephemera into it. I created this project because, first of all, I wanted to use up some papers that I had lying around that I really didn't know what to do with anymore, and I also wanted to get those pictures out of my phone and off of my feed and into a book.
Always important.
Always important. So what we're gonna do is just create this great little book from scratch using up papers that may or may not even go together.
I like that so much. So how are we going to get started?
Well, I think the first thing we want to do is we want to make some of these fun frames. We're going to use them throughout the book and also on the cover. So let's get started with that.
I know, so you've assigned me the task of talking about this.
You are the one.
So you can cut any design out of paper. Here you can see I've just cut 2 squares and then I've used a punch to cut a little scallop edge.
I like that.
And then this is kind of a fun idea, which is what I've done is I have simply taped the 2 pieces onto a piece of white paper. And then I'm going to go ahead and scan that in, and I've overlapped those bits slightly so that they create one shape. And then I think I'm going to be able to cut a single shape out of those 2 pieces of paper. Pretty cool,
awesome.
Right? So I'm just going to choose scan, and I'm going to go ahead and scan to my cut data, and then I'm going to press start, and this is going to go ahead and scan that in. And while I'm doing that, I know that you're about to get painty.
I'm gonna get messy, because that's what I do. I'm gonna smoosh some gesso. And so one of the things about having all of these papers left over in my stack is that they really don't even match each other, let alone anything else I've got going on. So what I'm gonna do is take some gesso, and this is in like a dauber top, and I am just gonna smoosh some gesso.
That is
all
the coolest
Isn't that fun?
ever. You don't even need a paintbrush.
I don't need a paintbrush. I don't get anything too messy. And here I've just dabbed it on or just kind of wiped it on, and that's fun. Or you can squish some on like this and then use a palette knife or a butter knife or the edge of an old credit card, because again, I'm all about the upcycling and recycling.
Hotel room keys are my favorite thing to do that with.
Yes, exactly. So, and then you can make some fun designs in it that way. Or if you want to get super fancy, because I think we all do, you can also take your favorite stencil and dab right through the top. Actually, I don't even think about this. When I'm doing it, I just let my hands go. I just kind of experiment and play and have fun. And I love some of the designs that come up.
That looks
see
awesome.
How the gesso, it really knocks back all of that color and pattern that you may or may not want. So the other thing you can do is you can take your gesso when it's wet or dry, it's up to you, and use some of your spray inks to then also further kind of knock back that pattern or design.
And really make that pattern paper your own.
It is. It becomes then your own custom paper. It really bears zero resemblance to what you started with. And again, you can kind of just play with it. So I have some different examples here of where I've used the gesso and then a stencil and some spray. Here's one where I used just the stencil on top. I think sometimes the messier your work table gets, the better. You can actually then just start playing and lifting. But see how this one, this polka dot, that's how it started.
Wow, what a difference. That's amazing.
You know,
so, Jenny, this is done scanning, so I'm going to pop it out. Why don't you tell us how we put the book together?
That's awesome. So what we're going to do is basically do the same technique on the cover, and you can use up your cereal box cardboard for that. And
I like cereal boxes because they're such a nice thin cardboard.
Thin enough, and you can also punch through it. Now, if you have a bookbinding machine, you can bookbind it, or you can make a little template and then just use your hand punch, and then library rings, which you can get at any home supply store, you know, to put it together. So I'm about ready to start decorating. How are we doing with
this
our
is
frame?
Good to go. So I'm going to take some cardstock, and one of the things I like about this cardstock is, look, it's this Kelly green on one side, and then it's this deep emerald on the other side, which is kind of nice. So I'm just going to take the protective sheet off the sticky mat, and I'm going to go ahead and place it down. The grid helps me line everything up perfectly. Then I'm going to go ahead and feed it into my machine here. And then all that's left really for me to do is choose the pattern. I want one of the saved patterns that's in the machine, and I know it's the most recent one that I just did. So I'm going to go ahead and retrieve that, and I want to maximize my paper, so I'm going to go ahead and move it to the corner right there. And I'm going to hit OK, OK. I see that my cut depth is 4, which seems right. Cut. And Jenny, I'm off to the races, so it's back to you.
That's amazing. So now what I'm going to do is take some of my favorite photos from my online photo feed. And you know, some drugstores actually have a link to a site like Instagram where you can print directly from your phone to your local drugstore.
Wow.
So I've printed out, and you know what, they come in 4x4s. So since this book was made from 12x12 papers that were cut in half, what I end up with is about 6x6 pages, which are perfect for 4x4 pictures.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put some of these in. And you can use a wet adhesive or a dry adhesive, whatever you have lying around, because the idea for this is to have fun.
And to get it done,
and to get it in there. And here you can see I can actually add a little frame on top. This gives me a built-in journaling spot now.
It does, and you know what I really like is I actually like how the photo peeks out from behind. I think it gives it a more fun look.
Let's put that one right here on the cover.
Isn't that amazing how those two pieces came together to create just that single shape? It's so easy.
It's a lot of fun, and I'm thinking about all the different punches or textures or edges you could give it. You could really kind of have fun with it. So then you would go ahead, add in your photos, make some little tabs, and the way I do mine are by month, because I don't really believe in chronological. Sometimes it's just whatever I have available, but you can see where I've used little frames and tabs. I've used a little bit of washi tape, little leftover things to make
I love that you've got the
tabs.
tickets in there and all those fun little bits and pieces from your life. That's a great idea.
And you can make little pockets if you glue 3/4 the way around, and you get it out of your phone and into your book.
Jenny, I want to make myself a smush book right now. I think that's awesome.